Welcome to another Bible time. This is the Monday edition. On December 14th, we're going through the Old Testament together. We're reading the book of Job. Today, we come to some great chapters. But before we get to that, I'm just thanking the Lord for a great weekend that we had at Believers Fellowship. I know that many of the fellowship groups had Christmas dinners or desserts or fellowship times together over the weekend. I know that the high school ministry had a Christmas celebration on Wednesday, the Bereans on Thursday, and then, like I said, all through the weekend, fellowship groups have been meeting, and we're so thankful for those opportunities. And then to have our church service this morning and have Shannon Hurley speaking to us from the Word of God, to be able to honor the Basanis for their service there in Uganda. What a great day it was, and we're just so thankful for all that the Lord is doing at Believers Fellowship. And we're thankful for Bible time. This is one of the things that got started because of coronavirus. And so the Lord is using coronavirus in a lot of ways to encourage us, to instruct us, to minister to us. And Bible time is one of those ways. And the book of Job has been a fascinating time together. And today we come to chapter 38 and 39. And, for all these chapters, we've been hearing Job and his three friends and then Elihu speak, and all of them offer up their views on what's going on. Well, now, chapter 38, God shows up, and God starts to talk. And Job gets invited into God's interrogation room. He's just going to be bombarded with questions by God. And you'll notice that in doing all this, God doesn't answer Job's question as to why the righteous suffer. That's not going to be answered here by the Lord in his interrogation of Job. And in fact, you'll see it starts right off with him saying in verse 2, "Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge?" I mean, there's no way Job could have known about the conversation between God and Satan that's recorded back in chapters 1 and 2. So all of Job's questioning of why God is doing what he's doing is done out of complete ignorance. And that's what God is pointing out here. And when he says in verse 3, dress for action or gird up your loins, he's saying, hey, Job, I'm going to ask you some questions. You better get ready. And he gives him a series of questions in chapters 38 and 39. And I just want to read you a summary of the questions that God asked. So he says, where were you when I designed and built the earth? Where were you when the sons of God sang about it? Where were you when I set the oceans and their boundaries? Where have you ever commanded the dawn to appear? Have you ever explored the depths of the oceans? Have you understood the expanse of the earth? Do you know where light and darkness dwell? Do you know where snow and hail are stored? Do you know about thunderbolts, rain, ice, and frost? Do you control each constellation and its orbit? Do you cause rain and lightnings to give people wisdom? Do you feed lions and their cubs or ravens and their young? Do you know when mountain goats and deer are born? Did you loose the wild donkey and care for each one? Do you control the wild ox, or does he obey you? Did you give the female ostrich low intelligence? Did you give the war horse abilities for battle? Did you give the hawk and the eagle incredible eyesight? Those are the questions God's presenting to Job in chapters 38 and 39. How would you do taking that test? How would you do? He does, and the obvious conclusion is Job doesn't know how everything works, and neither do you and I. And throughout all of this, God's goodness towards his creation is expressed. So we don't know how God does all that he does, but he is good to his creation. And what we're going to see tomorrow, we'll conclude the book of Job, is that God is going to vindicate Job before his friends. But first he wants to give Job a little understanding here, which is necessary for Job. And the application for you and me is that faith includes trusting God. Faith includes trusting God and what he has said. We are so proud of our knowledge, but the reality is that there's a whole lot more we don't know than what we do know. If you're going to trust God, you're going to have a kind of faith that endures. You're going to have a kind of triumphant faith. Then you got to remain humble. And that's what God is doing to Job here. He's humbling him. And God says, you either humble yourself or you will be humbled. And here we see God bringing some humility into Job's life. So let's you and me learn the lesson and not be proud, not think that we know it all, and be humble and trust the Lord for what he has told us and not be questioning him for the things he hasn't told us. He's told us plenty enough for us to be able to trust him completely. Let's do that. Let's trust him completely. What a great way to start off a week. What a great way to start off a Monday, to think about the greatness of God as he is presented in these chapters, and to bring a little humility into our life as we face another week here on this planet. So I trust that this will help you. This will give direction to you. This will encourage you to keep your eyes on the Lord and to trust him in every way. And we'll see you tomorrow for more Bible time.